I've been holding on to things that don't even hold me right. Old jobs, old versions, old agreements that cost me my life. I learned how to survive anywhere, even places I shouldn't stay. But I don't need to suffer anymore, just to prove I'll be okay. If it pulls me out of alignment, if it keeps me in my head, if it asks me to betray myself, I know what has to end. Really, what no longer fits my life. Really, what tightens when I breathe inside. Ease the roles, the fear, the obligation. If it costs me peace, I release. Some love was built on effort, not ease, not flow. Some loyalty was just a habit I outgrew years ago. I stayed because I was grateful, not because I was fulfilled. But gratitude don't mean forever when my spirit's standing still. I don't need permission to choose myself again. If it drains instead of feeds me, that's where the truth begins. Release what no longer fits my soul. Release the need to carry it all. Release the guilt, the grind, the expectation. If it costs me peace, I release. This is not loss, this is liberation. This is me trusting my own navigation. I bless what was, I free what's done. Release is how I choose myself again. Release the weight, release the need, release the life that isn't me. That isn't me. Steps off, baby. This ain't just a vibe, it's a sanctuary. You just walked into the Love Palace. Welcome to a daily dose of D. Wrap yourself in satin truth. This love ain't rushed, it's velvet smooth. Silk on your spirit, rose in your mouth. Let me show you what healing's really about. Ooh, she don't play with pleasure, nah. Only pours it where it's earned. Let it burn slow. A daily dose of D. Let the love run deep and free. One touch and you'll believe. She's the calm, she's the heat, she's the peace you need. Here in the Love Palace, where even broken ships sail smooth. Anchored down, baby, daily dose of D. Your prescription to feel seen. No refills, just show up and receive. Let your ships drift into healing seas. We don't chase waves, we ride them. She don't beg, she just glows.
There's a moment right before a breakthrough when your hands start shaking, not because you're weak, but because you've been holding on too tight, holding on to memories that expired, holding on to stories that's not yours, holding on to people who love the version of you that kept shrinking. Release is not losing, release is choosing. Choosing yourself, your sanity, choosing peace over performing, evolution over excuses. Today, releasing, not silently and definitely not politely, but with intention, with power, and with love. Welcome to Daily Dose of D. Grand rising, grand afternoon, or grand evening, depending on what time of day you're watching Daily Dose of D. I am your host, Goddess D of Love. How's everybody doing today? We've made it to the middle of the week, y'all. Some call it Hump Day, some call it Wellness Wednesday. But today, here at Daily Dose of D, we're going to call it Willing Wednesday. What are you willing to do on this Wednesday? Well, I'm going to make a suggestion. We're going to release some stuff. So, with that being said, the word of the day is release. Allow or enable to escape from confinement to set free. And let's not forget the quote of the day: you heal by releasing, not suppressing. So we're going to go right into this subject, and our title for today is going to be You Gotta Let It Go, the Power of Release. So we're diving into a word that carries so much weight, but once it's truly understood, becomes the ultimate key to your peace. We're going to talk about release bars. When we talk about release, we're talking about an action that means to set free, to let something go, to allow something to move away from you. The word comes from an old French, releasier, meaning to relinquish, to let go, and the Latin root re, meaning back, and lexor, meaning to loosen. So, at its core, release literally means to loosen something you've been gripping too tightly. Life has a way of making us clench up, doesn't it? We clench our emotions, our responsibilities, our fears. We even clench the people who have already shown us who they are. Release is the decision to give yourself permission to breathe again. In our journey here at Daily Dose of D, we recognize that release happens in different stages. First, there is the mental and emotional release. This is where we stop the inner loop of should have and could have. It's about letting go of the heavy emotions, the resentment, the guilt, and the grief that occupy the real estate of our mind. When we hold on to an emotional wound, whew, it's like carrying a hot coal, right? We are the ones getting burned, waiting for the other person to feel the heat. Mental and emotionally, release is about clearing the inner room. It's letting go of outdated thoughts, grudges that overstayed their welcome, and self judgment that never even yours to hold on. It's the shift from why did this happen to me to what can I learn and take with me. Let me say that again. Releasing is the shift from why did this happen to me to what can I learn to take with me. It gives your mind permission to soften from stories that you have kept stuck. Emotional release feels like finally acknowledging the anger you swallowed, the sadness you tucked away, the resentment you never admitted. It's not about pretending those feelings weren't real. It's about finally letting them go so they don't drag you anymore. A lot of people fear emotional release because they think crying makes them weak. No, crying is your soul's detox. Tears are emotional sweat. And sometimes the most powerful things you can do is let your feelings move through you instead of letting them rot inside of you. All right, family. We're going to take a quick moment to breathe. You might need to stretch, sip on some water or whatever beverage you have, and check on something you might have forgot that's on the stove right now for some of y'all that's cooking dinner. But when I come back after the break, we're going to go deeper into releasing because we're just getting started today here at Daily Dose of D.
Release. As a verb and a noun, it means to set free, to let go, to allow something to move out or be given away. It's the act of opening your hand, unclenching your grip, and giving permission for something to leave.
Here's the part many people fear. What happens if I let go and everything falls apart? But what if letting go is actually what allows things to realign? Trust is not pretending you're okay. Trust is placing the outcome in hands steadier than your own. God does not drop what you give him. He transforms it. When you release control, you make room for clarity. When you release fear, you make space for peace. You are not losing ground by resting. You are being restored on it. And sometimes healing doesn't look like answers. It looks like finally being able to breathe again.
And we're back, family. If you're just tuning in, I want to say welcome to Daily Dose of D. This is where we are healing loud and love is intentional. And your growth here is mandatory. So let's go ahead and get back into this conversation about release. So, next we're going to move on to behavioral and rational release. This is about the patterns we engage in. Maybe you realize you have a habit of people pleasing or a tendency to over explain yourself to people who aren't committed to understanding you. Releasing here means changing how you show up in the world. It's the moment you stop participating in the dance of a toxic dynamic. Behavioral release. This is when you stop rehearsing the same patterns and keep getting you in the same outcome. This is when behavioral release is when you stop rehearsing the same patterns and keep getting the same results. Maybe you're the person who always overextends. You always say yes. You always try to fix things you didn't break. Release means, means interrupting your own habits. It's saying, I don't have to respond like this anymore. Now we have rational release. Now that's the one that hits people really, really deep, even myself. It doesn't always mean cutting people off, but sometimes it means just releasing the expectation that you're going to be someone they have constantly shown they're not. Sometimes it means stepping all the way back so your peace can breathe. And yes, sometimes it can mean a full exit or a graceful goodbye, a permanent door closed without guilt and no explanation because love without boundaries becomes self harm. So now let's dive into practical and physical release. Okay? So, practical release. This is the stuff we overlook: the messy closets, the old papers, the digital clutter, the apartment you haven't refreshed in months. Now, physical release is powerful because your environment reflects your mind. You ever cleaned your room and instantly feel lighter and happier? I have. That's not just organization, that energetic, energetic rearranging. This is the tangible stuff. Cleaning out your closet of clothes that remind you of a bad era. Deleting the photos that trigger your anxiety, or even moving to a new space. How about this? Or even just clicking out of that live, just clicking out of that social media that can trigger you. It's about clearing your physical environment to reflect the new clarity in your soul. Releasing physical clutter creates mental clarity. If your life's telling you make room for who you're becoming, it's time to start making room. Okay? Now, let's talk about this one. Here we go, y'all. I'm guilty of this one. We find it's hardest to release people because we confuse history with destiny. Let me say this again. We find it harder to release people because we confuse his story with destiny. Just because someone has been in your life for a long time doesn't mean they are meant to walk into your next chapter. This is where most people struggle. Releasing toxic relationships, whether friendships, family members, or romantic partners, requires brutal honesty, not anger, not revenge, just clarity. When we walk about, when we talk about refusing toxic friends and family, It's particularly painful, right? Because these are the people who's supposed to be our safeguards, our safe harbors. However, if a family member uses blood as a license to disrespect your boundaries, or if a friend only celebrates you when you're doing worse than them, they are no longer a connection, they are a schism. Mhm. In romantic relationships, the need for release often shows up as a sunk cost fallacy. You stay because you are already invested. Oh, I invested so many years, even though years were filled with more tears than laughter. Releasing a toxic partner means acknowledging that you cannot love someone into their potential if they aren't doing the work themselves. You have to stop being a therapist. Okay, come on, talking to D. We talking to D. To someone who just wants a victim. It's about realizing that fighting for the relationship shouldn't feel like you're fighting for your life. And sometimes the people we love the most are the people who drain us the deepest. You can love someone and still not be compatible with their behavior. You can care and still walk away. And you can forgive and still move on. Toxic doesn't always look loud. Keep that in mind. Sometimes it's very subtle. The friend who supports only when you're struggling, but distant when you succeed. The family member who never ever apologizes, but always expects your understanding. The partner who always respects you, but never quite does. The partner who almost, let's get it right, D, respects you, but never quite does. Release means you stop negotiating your worth. And I want y'all to hear me. I want you to hear God is still love. You are not responsible for healing someone who refuses to do it. You need me to say that again? You are not responsible for the healing someone refuses to do. Okay? So keep that in mind. Okay. Now I want to talk about this is good too. Spiritual release. There's a such thing as a spiritual release. A spiritual release goes deeper than just ending a conversation. It's about the soul's liberation. It's the intentional act of surrendering your burdens to a higher power or the universe, trusting that you don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. A spiritual release is deeper than emotions or relationships. It's when your soul detaches from what the spirit has that grown. It's when God, the universe, or whatever higher force you believe in starts nudging you out of that season. It says it's time to go on. We done with this. It feels like everything is shifting. That things that used to be satisfy you, it don't hit the same. The people you once tolerate now feel heavy. And the routines you once loved now feel restricted. Spiritual release is surrender. It's loosening your grip so something divine can breathe into your life. It's that whisper inside you that says, you're not supposed to stay here anymore. more. The key aspects of spiritual release involve forgiveness, which is for you and not them, detachment from specific outcomes, and trust in the divine timing of your life. So, the key aspects of spiritual release: forgiveness, detachment, and trust. It's a declaration that you are no longer defined by your trauma, but by your divinity. So, how do you know when you've reached a point where spiritual release is mandatory? Well, the signs are usually quite loud. You might feel a constant sense of heaviness in your chest, or perhaps you feel spiritually blocked when you can no longer find joy in your prayers or your meditation. You might notice you're constantly tired, no matter how much sleep, or that you're still tired, or that you keep attracting the same painful situations over and over again. These are the universe ways of saying that your spirit is full of clutter. This needs to be cleared out to make room for new blessings. Spiritual release requires acceptance, humility, and trust. Acceptance that something has ended, humility to acknowledge you don't have control over everything, and trust that letting go will lead you to something better, even even if you can't see it yet. And spiritual release doesn't always feel peaceful at first. I'm gonna tell y'all that from personal experience. It don't feel good. It don't feel peaceful at first. Sometimes it feels like confusion, fatigue, or discomfort. Growth rarely feels like a spa day. But when the dust settles, the peace hits different. Okay, Love Palace family, let's pause here for a second. How about we take a deep breath? Ooh, that felt good. Now, this part, after this commercial break, after this, is going to take some time because we're going to move and start talking about how we can start releasing. Because I know that last part hit some of y'all right in the heart. Did it hit you in the heart? It hit me in the heart. So we're going to take this break. You can take another deep breath, a sip of water, or what you need to do. And we'll be right back here at Daily Dose of D right after a message from my sponsor.
I release what drains me, shed what no longer fits, and ignore distractions. I keep my vision, my wisdom, and my gift for turning raw ideas into real impact.
Body butter, shea, sage, washing off yesterday's weight, spell in the steam, peace in the flame. I call my power, speak my name.
Hello, everybody. This is the time of the show where I show you the product of the day. And today, the product of the day, let me show y'all this. See that I know it's a little small, but this is the new item, the new decongestant nasal inhaler. You can put it in your little pocketbook purse or pocket, guys. So this helps you breathe easier. Okay, this is a plant powered nasal inhaler, and it's crafted to help open the airways and clear congestion naturally. So this is infused with menthol, peppermint, and eucalyptus. So this blend delivers a crisp very cooling sensation that helps relieve nasal pressure due to sinuses or seasonal discomfort. Because you know it's wintertime. I don't know what's going on around out there, but there's something going out there. I don't know what they're calling it, but if you have any nasal congestion, get the new decongestant nasal inhaler. Now, this is on the website right now. You can go on the website right now and go get this. Check out, while you're over there, check out all the other products by Shamaka Essential and Holistic Royalty by Kels because they have united to help you with all your physical, mental, and spiritual healing. So tap in to Shamaka Essentials and Holistic Royalty by Kels. Go on and get you some nasal decongestant, okay, for your family and yourself. Tap into Shamaka Essentials.
Stay tapped in with Shamaka Essentials. That's essential.
Hello, everybody. I hope you got that message from our sponsor. I don't know what happened around here. The power went on and came back off, so I don't know what happened. So I might have froze or something, but tap into Shamaka Essentials. And look, did you hear me saying holistic? Holistic, but she holy too. That's probably why it came out that way. But tap into there. That nasal decongestant spray is on there now on the website site. I'm not sure if you got to see the whole commercial because, like I said, I think the power just glitched, came on and off. I don't know what's going on, but make sure you tap in. So if it did freeze, that was the message that came up. Okay. So now, Love Palace family, I want to thank you all for staying here with me. Hopefully, we won't have any more glitches. So let's go ahead and finish this journey together about release. So things you need, things you need a release when you feel heavy from for no clear reason. When your energy drops around certain people, and when you're constantly explaining yourself or second guessing who you are. You need, sorry, y'all, I don't know what's going on around here. One moment. Okay, back to talking about signs that when you know you need to release. Okay, so you need to release when your joy is replaced with obligation, or when your peace feel like it's always on the line, or how about when your peace feels like it's always online, okay, or not supposed to be online. Hmm. One of the biggest signs, you keep praying, you're journaling, you're venting, or complaining about the same person or situation. If something keeps demanding your emotional labor without giving anything back, that's not love, that's bondage. Okay? That's not love, that's bondage. So, why is it so important that we release these things, Goddess D? Why should we release these things? It's very vital to release because your energy is a infinite resource. You cannot pour into your dreams, your children, or your purpose if your cup is filled with the sludge of the past. When you refuse to release, you are essentially telling the universe that you don't have room for anything better. Release is the prerequisite for growth. A tree must drop all the dead leaves to survive the winter and bloom in the spring. Mhm. because holding on costs you more than letting go ever will. Holding on blocks blessings, baby, delays your evolution, your growth. It keeps you stuck in chapters that stopped feeding your spirit a long time ago. Release doesn't just free the situation, it frees you. It makes rooms for better connections, clearer thoughts, healthier habits, and deeper peace. You cannot elevate while carrying dead weight. You can't rise if your hands are full of yesterday. hmm So, what are the things that can help you release? So, let me go ahead and offer you some things. Y'all ready? I'm going to offer you some things here at Daily Dose of D that can help you release. So you can lean into journaling. It's so funny because I just had a conversations with my sister this morning, and I was like, I need to start incorporating this back in my life. I already have started other routines in December, and now I need to start leaning into journaling. So the journaling is to help get those thoughts out of your head and onto paper where they lose their power. You could do breath work and even physical movement like yoga, which Holistic Royalty by Kels will be coming and showing up with those yoga moves soon, or even a long walk. It can help you move the stagnant energy out of your body. And most importantly, seek community and boundaries. You want to surround yourself with people who reflect the version of you that you're becoming. And don't be afraid. Let me say this loud and clear, y'all. Okay, I want y'all to come closer. Come closer. Don't be afraid to use the word no as a complete sentence. Okay? Don't be afraid to use that no. Remember, releasing isn't about losing, it's about making space to receive. Release requires tools. Honest conversations help. As I mentioned before, journaling. Even therapy can help. Prayer helps. Silence helps. Sitting with yourself without distraction can be one of the greatest helps you can ever have. Sometimes it's a ritual, like cleaning your room, burning old letters, and taking that long walk, or even deleting a number you held in the past, or even clicking the red button to get away from the toxicness. The toxicness. Sometimes you release by choosing different, choosing distance, choosing yourself. And sometimes the most powerful release comes from finally saying, I deserve better. And I'm willing to prove it to myself. Okay, Love Palace family, let me go ahead and leave you with some motivational closing remarks about release. Maybe release isn't the goodbye you were scared to face. Maybe it's the welcome home you didn't know you needed. Maybe this season of shedding, the season of loosening your grip, the season of unclenching your spirit is the universe clearing a path for the version of you that refuses to dim anymore. See, growth has a sound. It sounds like silence after chaos. It's like laughter returning to a room that forgot it. It sounds like the echo of your footsteps walking away from everything that broke you and moving toward everything that was always meant for you. Release is a rebellion. It is you refusing to settle, refusing to shrink, refusing to keep performing pain for people who don't even clap for your healing. Release is the softest revolution you will ever lead. It's the moment you stop asking for permission to become who you were born to be. And yes, family, it can be scary. It's shaking hands, tight chest, watery eyes, scary. But fear is not a stop sign. Fear is an alarm clock. And as I say here at Daily Dose of D, fear is face everything and rise. Fear is the wake up call telling you, baby, you stayed too long in a place your spirit left months ago. So breathe. Breathe like someone who knows peace is entering the room. Breathe like someone who is done caring with killing them quietly. Breathe like someone who knows that every ending is an altar and a new beginning gets blessed. So, let me tell you this: choose yourself, choose your wholeness, choose your truth, and choose your freedom. Because the moment you release, you will rise. Okay, everyone, Love Palace family, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Daily Dose today on this Willing Wednesday. Are you willing to release? Now, if you notice, there's a little pattern going on, right? Because Monday, if you didn't check it out, we talked about being stagnant. And yesterday, we talked about motion, and now we're releasing. So, the next thing we're going to talk about is elevation and growth. So make sure you're hitting that like button, that sharing this good information, that notification button, so you can go ahead and these steps that I'm offering you get through the stagnant wave. You could go ahead and follow those. Or you might know somebody that might need these helpful things that God is still love is offering to you. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Shout out to the replay game. I appreciate you all as well. And make sure you are following, or may I offer that you follow the COC, Alicia Dion, Blended Healing, Holistic Royalty by Kales, Big Mouthpiece, C. Wow. Go ahead and subscribe to those. They have content and go live and a lot of things that we're doing in 2026. So be ready. And I heard it through the grapevine that the network is about to come out with some new music. They getting it ready for 2026. So make sure you subscribe over there as well. Peace and love to everybody. Be willing to release on this Wednesday. It's hard. I'm going to tell you from personal experience, it is hard to release. Release yourself from family, friends, people. Release yourself from that job. Release yourself from substances that are not good to your body. It's hard. I have personal experience with all of the above. But when you release, baby, your growth starts to happen. So I will see you real soon. Once again, peace and love. Thank you for coming to the Love Palace, and I will see you real soon.
Forgiveness and reconciliation are two different things. Forgiveness is the act of letting go of pain without the need for acknowledgement. And this is the problem with most of us. You can't get over nothing people don't acknowledge. I just need them to acknowledge it. You're going to be stuck waiting on somebody who's not prepared to acknowledge it before you can move on. I'm moving on whether you stay stuck or not. Forgiveness is the act of letting go of pain without the need for acknowledgement. Reconciliation is the repair and the reestablishment of a relationship. So forgiveness can happen without reconciliation initially. Watch this. Forgiveness is a one-man job. Reconciliation requires cooperation. Forgiveness needs to be immediate. Reconciliation can take time.
Do you think that there's a difference between forgiving a person and giving a person a second chance?
Forgiveness does not mean reconciliation. Forgiveness is simply acknowledgement. That's what it is. I'm acknowledging that there was some type of wrongdoing that has impacted me in a negative way, but that does not mean that I need to connect with you again, because that's where the accountability of self starts to come in. Because now that I can acknowledge that you have done something to negatively impact me, and I can accept the fact that this is what has happened, now it is my responsibility to create some type of resolve in my life. And so that means that in order for me to avoid this happening again, I'm not going to connect with you again. I don't have to give you a second chance. God can give you that. No offense, because I'm a Christian, so I know some of y'all like, hold on, wait a minute. No, because that's what the problem is. So many of us are taught that we have to forgive and let somebody back into our life. No, I'm releasing this from my heart. I can still love you, but I can't deal with you, and you can't have that access to me anymore.
I've been holding on to things that don't even hold me right. Old jobs, old versions, old agreements that cost me my life. I learned how to survive anywhere, even places I shouldn't stay. But I don't need to suffer anymore, just to prove I'll be okay. If it pulls me out of alignment, if it keeps me in my head, if it asks me to betray myself, I know what has to end. Release what no longer fits my life. Release what tightens when I breathe inside. Release the roads, the fear, the obligation. If it costs me peace, I release. Some love was built on effort, not ease, not flow. Some loyalty was just a habit I outgrew years ago. I stayed because I was grateful, not because I was fulfilled. But gratitude don't mean forever when my spirit's standing still. I don't need permission to choose myself again. If it drains instead of feeds me, that's where the truth begins. Release what no longer fits my soul. Release the need to carry it all. Release the guilt, the grind, the expectation. If it costs me peace, I release. This is not loss, this is liberation. This is me trusting my own navigation. I bless what was, I free what's done. Release is how I choose myself again. come with me. Release, release anything that dims my frequency. Release, release jobs, people, places, versions I don't find what's complete. I release, release the weight, release the need, release the life that isn't me. I release, I release. Felt love like she don't just love, she heals and keeps. Let go, let flow. Daily dose of deep in the land free. In the love palace, ships dock even here. Yeah, we guide the tide. God is deep. Whispering back when your heart needs reminding. D is divine, D is daily, D is love, a daily